Hi, everybody. Mr. Bryant here. I was asked once again by my friend, the detective, to share with you guys some tips and tricks so that you could better solve the mystery. And so, right here, he sent me a copy of this map, which I believe you guys are going to get as well. And there's a couple of things that I noticed about it. So, what you're going to need to solve this mystery is you're going to need a protractor. I have a digital one on my computer screen, but you can even use a regular orange one that I sent home, or a clear one, or whatever you have, and just hold it up to your screen. That's a good way to do this. It won't change the angles at all. And so, what we're going to do, what we're going to do here is that we've got a murder site right here. We've got witnesses that saw it from here, it looks like, and then we have these possible locations of where the shot could have come from. And so we've got an office building, an abandoned office, a toy store, a doctor's office, and the town hall. And you'll notice that there are little points marked in red. I assume those are locations of windows where the shot could have been fired from. And so what we're going to do is use our protractors to kind of get some angles and figure out what angle things would have come from. Now, of course, this right now is just giving us a 2D look at the angle. Depending on if these buildings are more than one story, you might have to do some 3D angle work in the future. Who knows? So what you would do then to find an angle between a site and the murder site is that we would take our protractor here, and we're going to put the middle part, right here on top of the vertex. Now, in this case, the vertex is actually going to be this murder site, right here in the middle. Oops. Come on, there we go. And so I'm going to put it right here. Kind of, if you see, there's this black line right there to help us measure some angles. And then I'm going to tilt it so that the black line lines up with the bottom of my protractor. Now, you guys can see, these different dots are in different places. Right now, I could measure the toy store or the doctor's office. So what I might do is I might take something and lay it flat on my screen, or in this case, I've got this nice little line here, but you could just lay something on top of your screen and kind of see where it would go. So there's our angle right there. Here's the angle, the space in between. And so we would have about, let's see, because we're using the inside zero, right? Our line is going through, the bottom line is going through the inside zero. So we're going to use the inside numbers, just like I talked about in the other video. And so you've got 10 degrees, 20, 30, and we're somewhere between 30 and 40. So I'm going to look up at the fine lines up here, and I see I'm past 35, about 36. Okay, so about 36 degrees. And if you look here, well, you can't really see it now, but when I click on this, you can see about 36 degrees lines up exactly. Okay, so then I would say, the angle between the toy store and the witnesses here would be about 36 degrees. Okay, and I would make note of that on my notes sheet so that I could report that back to the detective. Now, you might be wondering, how in the world am I going to measure some of these that are on the other side? And so to do that, what you would need to do is actually just rotate your protractor. You still want that black line to line up with the bottom of the protractor, but this time you'll see here we're going to do it on this side. So it's kind of tricky. You look upside down. If you have a printer and want to print it out so that you can lay it down and do it on with pencil and paper, that's totally fine. But if you don't, you can just turn your protractor upside down on the screen and it'll work just as well. And so again, I would use something to mark off one of these spaces. Okay, and then now my angle is right here, right? In between that bottom and here. And I'd notice that I'm using the outside zero this time. So I'm going to use the outside numbers. Okay, so you guys are going to do that for all 5 of these sites, possible shooter locations. And then when you're done with that, you're going to send it back to the detective so that he can process it and get on with the next clue. All right, I hope this was helpful. Be sure to check out the other video where I talk more in depth about measuring angles and do a few more practice ones as well. All right, bye.